Welcome everyone, my name is Jessica and this is Simple, Cheap and Easy DIYs. I'm going to start off by taking one of these cloches from Dollar Tree and these stickers that I got from Hobby Lobby, and I'm going to take the little green truck with the pumpkins and apply a little bit of hot glue to the bottom. And I do have my glue gun set to low temp, that way it doesn't melt the styrofoam the stickers on. And I'm just going to glue that to the base. Next, I'm going to take this bamboo skewer and I'm going to apply hot glue to the top. Once I have the hot glue, I'm going to take a second sticker, the I Love Fall wreath, and just glue that to the skewer. And I ended up cutting the skewer a little bit shorter, that way it does hide behind the truck. But once I get that cut to the length that I like, I'm going to apply a little bit of hot glue to the bottom of the skewer and then glue that to the base right behind the truck. Once I have that glued in place, I'm just going to place the top back onto the base. And the next step is optional, but I use this little leaf and just stuck that to the front of the base, and that's the completed first project. I'm going to take a second cloche and I'm going to take some of the Spanish moss, and using my hot glue, I'm just going to apply hot glue to the base and then attach the moss to that. Once I have that covering the entire bottom, I'm going to take 3 of these foam pumpkins and I'm going to cut the bottom pick off, and since we'll just be using the pumpkins, I'm going to apply a little bit of hot glue to the larger pumpkin, and then I'm going to repeat the same step on the 2 smaller pumpkins, just arranging them on the moss how I like. Once I have the pumpkins in place how I like them, I'm going to take this blessed sticker and apply a little bit of hot glue onto the back and then just glue those directly onto the pumpkins. Next, I'm just going to apply the top back onto the base, and then if you have any of the Spanish moss poking through after you attach it, you can just pull that off. It comes off really easy, and that way it is nice and smooth and flush. But once you have that done, the second project is complete. Now, taking a third cloche, I'm going to take a second set of stickers and I'm going to be using the Give Thanks wreath and a little piece of the pick that I cut off. I'm going to apply a little bit of hot glue to the top of the wreath on the back side and attach the little wooden pick to that. Once that is dry, it'll actually hide behind the wreath. I'm going to apply hot glue to the top of the little pick, and then I'll take the top dome of the cloche and just glue that directly to the center on the inside, and this does fit actually perfect to hang from the top of it. Now, taking these pumpkin stickers from that same set, I'm going to apply a little bit of hot glue to the bottom of the pumpkins and just arrange those onto the base. I'm going to be using 2 of the pumpkin stickers and 1 of the little leaf stickers, and I'll just be arranging those on the bottom. You have all the stickers in place, you'll just reattach the dome top, and then your third project will be complete. Now taking the fourth cloche, I'm just going to take some more of the Spanish moss and I'm going to glue that to the bottom in the same steps as before. I'm just going to completely cover the bottom using my hot glue. Now taking 3 of the same foam pumpkins in 3 different sizes, I'm going to take my hot glue and glue them in a stack ranging from smallest to largest. Once I have those glued down, then I'll just apply a little bit of hot glue to the largest pumpkin and glue that directly onto the Spanish moss. Now taking this sticker from the first set, I'm going to apply a little bit of hot glue to the back and then glue that directly onto the pumpkins. Next, I'm just going to place the dome back onto the base, and again, any Spanish moss that is poking through, you can just remove that off, and then the fourth project will be complete. Here's all 4 of today's completed projects. Leave me a comment down below and let me know which is your favorite. We're going to start off by taking this flower and garden tin and removing the flower and garden. You can use acetone to remove that. And then taking these little black stickers, I'm going to spell out Farm Fresh Corn, 25 cents. Once you have the stickers in place, I'm just going to be using some paper towels as filler, but you can use anything you'd like. And then taking this corn, which I got at Dollar Tree, I'm just going to arrange it and fill it in the basket. Once you have all the corn in place, your first project will be complete. Second project, I'm going to take this Hello Fall red truck pumpkin sign and I'm going to be taking that apart and using the centerpiece. Using this nautical rope, I'm just going to apply hot glue all the way around the edge of the red truck pumpkin. Once I have the nautical rope all the way around the pumpkin, I'm going to take a small piece of nautical rope that I cut, apply hot glue, and that's what I'm going to be using for the pumpkin stem at the top. Next, I'm going to take this yellow and orange fall leaf, and I'm just going to apply a little bit of hot glue to the top, and I'm going to place that in place for the pumpkin stem leaf. Next, we're going to make a stand to hold up the sign, and I'm just going to take one tumbling tower block and glue that to the bottom, and that makes the perfect little stand for your sign. For the third project, I'm going to take 6 of the tumbling tower blocks and glue them together, as you can see that I've done here. Once I have those all in place, I'm going to take the little black stickers again, and I'm going to spell out free hay rides, and I'm just going to coat that with a layer of Mod Podge to make sure that the stickers do stay in place. Once that's all dry, then I'm going to take a wooden dowel and glue that to the bottom of the tumbling tower blocks to make the little stand. Now, taking one of the little bales of hay, I'm going to pull up on one of the wires. That way I can stick the wooden dowel behind that to hold the free hayride sign in place. And taking one of these little scarecrows, I'm just going to glue that to the top of the hay bale. If you have any tips on how to get the hay bale from losing its hay, leave me a comment down below and let me know. And here's today's completed projects. Start off by taking 4 of these Rubik's cubes. Now you can also use the foam dice, or some Dollar Trees do have the wood blocks. Next, I'm going to take this lightweight spackle and I'm going to cover all of the cubes. Now this actually helps hold the cubes where they don't rotate and makes them solid. Also, once this dries, it's actually going to give the blocks more of a textured feel. That's why I'm applying it with my finger. It'll actually leave some lines in the spackle. And what that'll do is once it dries, it'll give the appearance of cement or a wood-like texture. And you'll see once it's dry what I'm talking about. And here's what it will look like once the spackle is fully dry. Once that's dry, I'm going to take the Waverly chalk paint in Agave, and I'm going to paint all the blocks. And this is what it will look like once they're fully painted, and this is the texture that you'll have on it once it's dry, to give it more dimension. Next, I'm going to take this cardstock, which I got at Dollar Tree, and using my Cricut Joy, I'm going to cut out the word fall. And you can use stickers or draw them on, whichever you prefer if you don't have the Cricut. Next, using Mod Podge, I'm just going to put that all on the back of the letters and then place each of the letters on one of the blocks. Once all the letters are in place, I'm going to take the Mod Podge again and just coat each of the letters to seal them in place. Now taking this little plaque, which I do believe is a wreath tag, and this scrapbooking paper that I got at Hobby Lobby. I did get this paper while they were having their sale for 4 sheets for 25 cents. And what I'm going to do is just place this tag on the paper, and I'm going to trace around that. Once I have that traced, I'll go ahead and cut that out. Once I have my circle cut out, I'm going to take some Mod Podge, and on the back of the tag, I'm going to place that on there. I didn't bother removing the stickers off because it's going to be covered up anyway. Once I have the back fully coated, I'll take my scrapbooking paper and just place that in place and let that dry. Once your sign's fully dry, this is what it will look like. And I'm going to take some more of the cardstock, which I got at Dollar Tree, in this blue color. And again, using my Cricut Joy, I just cut out the word hello. And I'm going to apply Mod Podge in the center of the tag and then place each of the letters in place. Now I actually wish that the letters would have been a little bit darker of a blue, but this was the only color that I had, so I went ahead and used it. But you can change any of the colors out. Again, this is just the color that I had. Once I had the word in place, I went ahead and used some Mod Podge and coated the top and just let that dry. Once that's fully dry, I'm going to apply hot glue to the bottom and place that in the center of the block with the letter F. I did place a generous amount of hot glue on the back of the sign and the block as well, just to make sure that that was secure and did hold in place. Next, I'm going to take these 2 little pumpkin clips, which I got at Dollar Tree, and I'm going to glue mine down, but I will go ahead and glue them to the last block with the letter L. You can just set them on top if you'd like, or you can glue them whichever you prefer. And here's the completed first project. You can separate the blocks, or you can push them all together. You can just display them however you'd like. Second project, I'm going to take these large craft sticks, which I got at Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to cut the ends off of each of the sticks. I'm going to use a total of 8 sticks for this project. Next, taking one of the Dollar Tree calendars, I'm going to be using this white pumpkin picture from this calendar. Next, I'm going to take a piece of foam board and just place my calendar picture on top. And then I'm just going to be using hot glue to glue this down since it was faster. You can always use Mod Podge if you would like. You can also use a glue stick, but for me, I just found that hot gluing the edges down worked better and faster for me. Once I have the picture fully glued down, I'm going to take the craft sticks and I'm going to place 2 on each of the sides. And on 2 of them, it's actually going to be a little bit shorter. So as you can see here in a moment, I'm going to be cutting 2 of the sticks on the top and the bottom just to make sure that they fit in place. Now that all the sticks are cut to size, I'm going to take the guave chalk paint and I'm going to paint each of the sticks, and then once that's fully dry, I'm going to start gluing them around the picture to make the frame. As you can see, there is a little bit of the picture left over at the bottom, and I did that because I didn't want to have to cut multiple sticks. I just used 2 full-size sticks on both of the sides and just cut the top and bottom stick. So what I did was, once I had the frame fully built around the pumpkin, I'm just going to take my X-acto knife and cut off the excess. That way it does fit smoother and the frame looks better. And here's the completed second project. Piece of foam board, and I'm going to cut 2 pieces at this size, which is 9 inches in length and 8 inches in height. Next, I'm going to make a 1-inch border all the way around the foam board, and I'm going to repeat that on both of the foam boards that I cut out. Now you can always adjust the measurements to fit whatever size terrarium that you'd like to make. Once I have the border complete, I'm going to start working on the windows. For the windows, I'm going to make them 2 inches in width with a 1/2 inch separating each window. So for this piece, it'll be a total of 3 windows. And as you can see me doing here, I'm just going to go ahead and complete the lines all the way down to separate the windows. Now that I have the 3 larger windows made, I'm going to separate them into 1 large window and 1 small window. And I'm going to make these windows as well 2 inches in length with a 1/2 inch border. And I'll just go ahead and complete the lines as you can see here. Once I have these windows drew out, I'm going to cut the center piece out using my X-acto knife. And this is what it should look like once you have both panels complete. Now we'll be making the sides of the terrarium, and for these I'm going to cut them at 6.5 inches in width and 8 inches in height. Once I have those cut out, I'm going to repeat the same steps as before. I'm going to make a 1-inch border all the way around the foam board. Once I have the 1-inch border complete, then I will start working on the windows for this piece. On the side panels as well, I'm going to make the windows the same size as the front panels, which is 2 inches in width with a 1/2 inch border in between. So for the side pieces, there will be 2 windows. To complete the side panel windows, I'm going to separate them into 2 inches in length with a 1/2 inch border, just like I did on the previous panels. Once I have the windows drew out, what I'll do is I'll go ahead and take my x-acto knife and cut those squares out as well. Somehow I did lose some footage, but I actually made 2 of these side panels, and then this is the piece that I'll be using for the roof. For the roof pieces, I cut the foam board 9 inches in width and 6 inches in height. I also did go ahead and make the same 1-inch border, and the windows are 2 inches in width with a 1/2 inch border between each window. This is what all the completed pieces will look like, and I did make 2 pieces of each size. Now to make this foam board look like old wood, I'm going to take a piece of the paper from the foam board and just separate it and tear it off, as you can see me doing here. I'm going to do that around the windows and around the edge of the frame, and I'm going to repeat that on all of the pieces of the foam board. By doing this, it's going to give it the old wood chipped look once you have this fully painted. This is what it will look like once you have some of the paper tore off. Now taking my apple barrel paint in Territorial Beige and my Waverly paint in Antique Wax, I'm going to mix those two together, and using a paintbrush I will just fill in all the places where I tore off the paper, which means I'll be painting the foam board directly, as you can see me doing here. This is what it'll look like once you have all the pieces painted. Now you will want to make sure that this is dry before we move on to the next paint, which is the apple barrel paint in the color Red Apple. I just went ahead and painted all of the pieces using this color. I did blend a little bit of the red into the brown, but I didn't go too far in. Also, make sure you do paint the back side of these as well. Once the paint's fully dry, I'm going to take this apple barrel paint in the color Jet Black, and I will just dry brush that on each of the panels, and with the black I will actually go over both the red and the brown. I will also go ahead and take a sponge and just outline each of the windows with that black. And here's up close of what it will look like once you have the panels completed, and it does give that old used wood effect. Once the paint's fully dry, I'm going to take my glue gun on a low temperature setting, and I'm going to take the 2 side panels and I will just be gluing them onto both the front and the back panels, as you can see me doing here, to start building the terrarium. If you're liking today's project, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help out my channel. Okay, once we have the bottom of the terrarium built, we're going to start working on the roof. For the roof, I'm going to take one of the roof pieces and I will glue it onto the top of the base. And for the roof, you're actually going to glue these in an angle, like a triangle shape, and make the roof complete. And I will glue them onto the base, and then once I get that done, I will glue them at the top of the roof as well. It may sound a little confusing describing it, but it's really easy to build this terrarium. It's probably easier if you just watch what I'm doing, as you can see each step. Once I have the frame of the terrarium built, I'm going to work on the bottom. Now, the easiest way that I found to do this was take the house and set on top of a piece of foam board and just trace and cut that out, but you can see the measurements that I used here as well. Next, I'm going to take the apple barrel paint in the color Red Apple and paint the bottom. And then once that's dry, I'm going to take the bottom and just place on the inside of the foam board for the house. Once I have that in place, I'm going to take my hot glue and just glue around the edges of the bottom of the foam board. And this is what the terrarium looks like once it's completed. Now you can decorate it any way that you wish, but I'm going to be using these sunflowers. I think the yellow actually goes really good with the red. And again, you can decorate this any way that you would like. If you're not already, make sure you subscribe to my channel before you leave. That way you can see all my upcoming videos. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope everyone enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. As always, you can leave me a comment down below. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Till next time, hope everyone has a great day.